Borderline personality disorder. Today, I was thinking that we're always talking about the downside of borderline, the negative stuff. I felt today we could do some positives. Is it possible that there are some traits in borderlines that could be positive and not negative? No way. I don't believe you. Borderlines are not all bad. In fact, we do have some traits that make us quite desirable and really good human beings. That being said, these traits are only good if we have gotten control over ourselves. I like to look at it as like Superman, okay? Think of Superman. Everybody loves Superman. His powers are great. But what if Superman stopped controlling his powers or went evil? Then nobody would like Superman and he'd cause a lot of damage. Same thing with borderline. Most of us don't have control over our powers, but once we harness it, once we learn how to control our powers, we can do great things. That's just my way of looking at it. So I've come up with a list of things that usually are the things that destroy us. If we get control over them, they will actually make us stronger and better. You have to get control over it though. So what is one of those things? People with BPD are incredibly empathic. Insanely empathic. We can know exactly how you feel about a situation without very much information. Normally we can pick up on it just by your facial expressions, tone of voice. The way somebody walks across a room, I can tell how they're feeling. This one's almost like having x-ray vision or something. It's incredible. It's a great, great gift. There are some downsides to it that have to be controlled. Since we are so empathic, it's very easy for us to get lost in your emotions. I find myself many times getting lost in someone else's emotions, especially if those emotions are negative. So we can be empathic, but we have to try to separate ourselves from it, not to get so close that it takes us over. Here's another one that can be either one of our greatest strengths or the thing that takes us down. We will give anybody where you are with that soulmate experience. That shit you only hear about in the movies. Where you just meet that person that was just made for you. Because we like to mirror. If you're into something, we're into it. This does not always mean that we're manipulating. A lot of people without borderline see this as a manipulation tactic. We want to enjoy what you enjoy because it will bring us closer together. I've been with a lot of people, and here's a good example. WWE, wrestling, soap opera for men, I guess. Except I wasn't into wrestling. I thought it was always fake and pretty stupid. I was with a girl, though, and she was really into it. She loved it. Therefore, I loved it. I really did get into it. For years after we broke up, I was still watching it, and I had to remind myself that I don't like this shit. And I weaned myself off of it. And it brought us closer together. We had that in common. Now, the romantic comedies, I drew the line at the romantic comedies. No, I don't care. I can't mirror you that much. We will we will dig into your heart deep and plant these roots that just go deep. This can destroy us and the ones around us though, because we will become so close to you that we can destroy you if we choose to. Just remember though, even though now we could destroy you if we chose to, you could destroy us from the beginning. So this is fair. Like I said, these things have to be done when you are in control, because these things can be very destructive. But if you're regulating your emotions, if you're on an even baseline, and you know the power that you have, you could make somebody very happy, and you could have a very happy relationship and be soulmates. This next one is one of my favorite superpowers. Probably because I'm a guy, so it's got to be my favorite. We are, by far, hands down, the best sexual partners you will ever have. People with BPD are the most adventurous and have the most willingness to please the other person in their relationship. That weird, crazy sex fantasy that you don't want to tell anybody you have, we are willing to do that. We won't even judge you for it. We'll get into it. Our fear of abandonment is so deep that we are willing to go to any lengths to please our partners. And we want to do it. We're not just doing it so you won't. We actually want to do it because we care about you. We want to fulfill your needs. Yeah, we're damn good in bed. Damn good. So, all of you with BPD, give yourselves a pat on the back. Here's another good one. We are highly intelligent and are capable of huge success. The lacking in personal inner validation creates us to have a passion to succeed externally. We have to exceed with things that are not inner personal to us. We have to succeed with good grades, sports, being the best at your job, rising high up in a company. We need those things to give us our worth. Therefore, we're overachievers. We study more. We're constantly learning. And we're constantly trying to be the best. I can tell what a person needs before they even tell me. If they need a hug, if they just need someone to talk to. Sometimes people just need validation. Just that what they're thinking about matters. This ability to read people sometimes makes conversations seem pointless. Because you'll be talking to someone and they're explaining things to you that you've already figured out. They didn't even need to tell you that. You've already figured it out and they're explaining it to you and you're like way ahead of them. A lot of the times I think that's why people with BPD come across as rude, because if we don't have good control over our emotional regulation, we will not be empathetic enough to bother to listen because we already know what you need. We just want to get to the chase and give you what you need. That ability to read people is awesome, though. We can tell a scumbag from a mile away. We're very intuitive. We just know. It's a superpower. It's awesome. We will have many fun and exciting experiences in our life. This is one thing that we have very low impulse control, which can lead to destruction, but once again, it can be a good thing. We are very willing to take risks and do new things. A lot of people get stuck in ruts where they're not willing to try new things or they overthink things. We do not. It is very possible that just on a whim, we could decide to just join the carnival and run away. Or up and just move to a new town just because maybe that town will be better. This leaves us with lots of opportunities that normal people wouldn't have. We're also not as judgmental, so we're willing to associate with people that a lot of people would stereotype and immediately not want to hang out with. But since we're intuitive, we know what people want. Weird people aren't that scary to us because we know what's really going on with them. Whereas other people would judge weird people and not want to hang out with them. We know the psychos from the weirdos. We can tell the difference. If we are to get control over ourselves, if we can control our powers, we then can be self-aware and have fulfilling, long-lasting relationships. We can be your best friend, your best lover, best wife, best husband, once we get control over ourselves. So all of you with BPD, don't think of it as a curse and horrible. Just realize that you have superpowers. And with having superpowers, you have to learn to control them. So learn to control your powers and you can do great, amazing, awesome things. You can soar to great heights. Did this give you a new outlook on those things you consider to be negative? Are you maybe looking at those negative things now and thinking, you know what? I can turn this into a positive. Or are you thinking, he is so full of shit? Let me know in the comments section below. This Saturday, I will be doing my first official live stream. It's going to be a Q&A. It's going to be a question answers deal. It'll start at 1 o'clock. And it will go until maybe 1:32. I don't want to really put myself into too long of a time frame for the first one. Depending on how successful this first one is, will depend on if I do any more. Just an opportunity for people to ask questions about me or ask questions about borderline personality disorder in general, and I'll be able to answer them for you. So don't forget it. Write it down on your calendar. Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. The channel is supported through donations from patrons. If you'd like to support this channel or just check out my Patreon page, the link is in the description below. I do personal journal entries over there, behind the scenes stuff you don't get here on YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? There's a subscribe button right there, right there. It says subscribe now. Click on it and you can subscribe. We're going for 500, 1,000, 5,000 subscribers, then the world. The world. We're taking over the world one subscriber at a time. Be sure to get on board. You don't want to be that last one to subscribe. It's awkward. It's weird. You're going to feel kind of like you did when you had to climb the thing in the school when you were younger. You know what I'm talking about. You don't want to feel that. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep on keeping on.